Top Accurate Global News Update. I am Abiodun Mohammed. At least 2 people were injured on Monday when part of a Ukrainian drone destroyed by Russian air defenses fell on a house in the Moscow region, the regional governor said. Nearly 50 plane flights in and out of the capital were disrupted after Russia said it jammed a Ukrainian drone in the Rossky district west of the capital and destroyed another one in the Istrinsky district nearby. Arrivals and departures from Moscow's 4 main airports, Vnukovo, Domodedovo, Sheremetyevo, and Zhukovsky, were restricted, disrupting 45 passenger planes and 2 cargo planes, Russian aviation authority Rosaviatsia said. Russian officials have repeatedly cautioned that military drones flying over Moscow, which along with its surrounding region has a population of nearly 22 million people, could cause a major disaster. Drone airstrikes deep inside Russia have increased since 2 drones were destroyed over the Kremlin in early May. Drone strikes on the Russian capital have become increasingly common in recent months. It is unclear what impact the drone attacks will have on perceptions of the war among the Russian population. Polling indicates support for the Russian military operation in Ukraine remains high, around 75%, though there are questions over how accurate polling is in Russia. Southern California officials braced on Monday for possible overnight reports of serious damage from Tropical Storm Hilary after the system unleashed furious flash floods east and west of Los Angeles in its historic arrival a day earlier. The National Weather Service downgraded the former hurricane to a tropical depression, but not before California Governor Gavin Newsom declared a state of emergency for much of Southern California with flash flood warnings until at least 3 a.m. On Monday, in an area more accustomed to drought, mountain and desert areas could get 5 to 10 inches of rain, as much as the desert typically see in a year, forecasters said. The storm passed northward through Mexico's Baja California Peninsula, where Pacific hurricanes are expected. It killed at least 1 person in Mexico amid reports of flash flooding in the peninsula, sweeping away some roads. Images on social media showed raging torrents gushing down city streets that turned into rivers. Saudi Arabia has engaged in a large-scale and brutal killing of African refugees and migrants at its southern borders with Yemen that could constitute crimes against humanity, according to a prominent rights group. Human Rights Watch (HRW) has documented in a report made public on Monday widespread and systematic abuses committed by Saudi border guards against mostly Ethiopian refugees who flee armed conflict, economic hardships, and droughts in their homelands. The non-governmental New York-based organization said hundreds and likely thousands have been murdered by Saudi border guards between March 2022 and June 2023, and killings are continuing. Witnesses said they were targeted by firearms, explosives, and artillery and mortar shelling from Saudi border guards when trying to cross. Some saw dozens killed in front of their eyes, while others experienced serious injuries like amputations or saw refugees arrested. "I saw people killed in a way I have never imagined," said Amdiya, the 14-year-old girl who crossed the border in a group of 60 in February but was forced to go back to the Yemeni capital Sana'a after repeated attacks. "I saw 30 people killed on the spot." A male minor interviewed by HRW said border guards detained their group of 5 men and 2 15-year-old girls after killing many others and ordered the men to rape the girls. One man refused and was shot and killed on the spot. India's space agency on Monday released images its spacecraft took of the far side of the moon as it headed for an attempted landing on the lunar South Pole. Just days after the failure of a Russian lander, the Indian Space Research Organization's ISRO Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft had been in a race with Russia to be the first to land on the lunar South Pole, a region whose shadowed craters are thought to contain water ice that could support a future moon settlement. As news of the failure of Russia's Luna 25 mission broke on Sunday, ISRO said that Chandrayaan-3 was on course to land on August 23rd. The mission, Chandrayaan, means moon vehicle in Hindi and Sanskrit, is India's second attempt to land on the south pole of the moon. In 2019, ISRO's Chandrayaan-2 mission successfully deployed an orbiter, but its lander crashed. Rough terrain makes a South Pole landing difficult, but making a forced landing would be historic. The region's water ice could supply fuel, oxygen, and drinking water for future missions. Images released on Monday showed craters on the moon's surface captured by the ISRO craft's lander hazard detection and avoidance camera, which is designed to help find a safe landing location for the spacecraft. Former US President Donald Trump on Sunday said he would skip the upcoming Republican primary debate, citing his large lead in opinion polls as evidence that he was already well known and liked by voters ahead of the 2024 election. Trump has for months suggested he would likely pass on Wednesday's night debate in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, arguing that it did not make sense to give his Republican rivals a chance to attack him given a sizable lead in national polls. On Sunday, a CBS poll showed he was the preferred candidate for 62% of Republican voters, with his closest rival, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, at 16%. All other candidates in the primary race had less than 10% support. The Trump campaign did not immediately respond to a question asking if the former president meant he won't be taking part in any of the Republican debates. The New York Times reported that Trump sat for a taped interview with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson that was expected to be posted online on Wednesday. It was not yet clear where the interview with Carlson will be posted. Trump's absence from this week's debate could mean DeSantis will become the focus of attacks from other candidates looking to position themselves as the primary alternative to the former president. That is the size of top accolade global news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy New Week!